technical difficulties. All right, now we'll get to the screen share. That seemed to be calm, more calm. I'm not going to try. Oh, look, maybe it's even live on Facebook. That would be interesting. Okay. Now, the cursor is cooperating. I'm going to see if I can do what I was intending to do. No. Yes. Not originally intending to do, but added to it. I'm going to see if I can pull that up and share that with you before we get into the videos. Okay. That's all we want. That and control of the cursor. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, just follow the rule. During all the years I worked with kids, I was able to create harmonious relationships with them. I decided that the reason for this was that I was always respectful to them, and I used the 108 respect tools, skills, and strategies. One night I was wondering whether someone would really have to learn all 108. That's the name for short, to be able to create harmony with the kids in their life. I was feeling discouraged. It seemed like an unlikely thing that someone would take on this task. Even the 7 steps to harmony seemed like a lot for someone to take on. Even the children shortened this process. I thought about the step that I always emphasized, called eliminate. If someone doesn't like a possible solution, it is not considered a possibility. Then I asked myself, what is the least that someone has to know and do to be able to do what I can do to create a respectful relationship with kids? The rest is the story of the one rule. Tonight, another aspect came to me, one that hasn't been discussed in any detail. I think I've mentioned something about it, but I want to explore it. You don't have to know much about relating with kids in a harmonious way. You don't have to know how to speak with them. You don't have to know how to treat them. You don't have to know how to be fair or respectful or kind. You just have to follow the rule. You don't even have to know how to introduce the rule to kids, though it can help. But even if you just say, from now on, when we have any problems, we are going to find solutions that we all like, or both like, if it's only you and a child. Then you only have to do it. Why would you want to do this? Personal reasons? You do not have to force kids to do things or not do things anymore. That's a relief. Your time and energy can go to what you like instead. It is empowering to you to be able to solve problems with kids quickly and easily. Maybe there are reasons benefiting kids. The one rule is the streamlined, easily accessible system based on the power of respect. It was my second major revelation. The first was the invisible root cause of the problems that develop between adults and kids. The one rule is the perfect solution to that. Just using it prevents problems between adults and kids from developing. Okay, I can't get down further, so we're going to get this out and this out and continue with the slideshow. All right. When I talk about raising happy kids or creating harmony with kids, I bring up one rule. The one rule equals agreement. Agreement equals harmony. Using the one rule means you find agreement. That's the rule. You find a solution that everyone likes. You found agreement. You found harmony. Knowing and following the one rule is all you really need to create harmony between you and your kids. In any situation where there are differences that might lead to conflict between you and your kids, use the one rule. Oh, I'm not doing the slideshow, am I? Sort of. I'm going to continue. I learned this strategy from 3-year-old children. I was teaching them a complex conflict resolution strategy actually intended for adults, and they taught me this. So don't think you're in for a rough time. It's simple, it's easy, it's powerful and effective. It works if you use it. The one rule, start strong. Oh, actually, just for your information, this is available in the course too. And if you sign up for the mailing list, you get this. Okay. You've decided that you really want harmony with your child. That sounds so good, right? Everyone feeling good and getting along. You've decided that you do not want to make your child do what they do not want to do. And you do not want to do what you do not want to do. And you are going to make this work. You have decided that you want to use the one rule to make this happen. This is going to become your new habit. You remember that when you use the one rule, you're sharing the following messages with your kids. I want us all to be happy. We are each important. Together we can solve our problems. I believe in you. I love you. To create this new habit, you're going to start with yourself and what you want. You decide that you're going to let how you feel about a situation determine whether you agree with it or not. If it feels good, then you can agree with it. If not, you cannot. Think about a situation. Ask yourself, is this situation okay with me just as it is? If yes, your work on that is done. If no, what would have to change, be different, so that I could feel good about it? Maybe several versions of this situation would feel fine with you, maybe only one. This exercise, this practice, helps you make a habit of following the one rule. No matter what age your kids are, this exercise helps ensure a strong start and makes following the one rule so much easier. Here's an understanding that might make following the one rule even easier. Recently, I asked myself a question. What do I want people to feel when they are connecting with my work? I definitely want them to feel good about themselves. Then the following answer appeared, to my surprise and delight. I want people to realize that they are already using the one rule. That understanding surprised me, and as more and more of it was revealed to me, it delighted me. Of course, people are already using the one rule. I am not teaching them anything they don't know. I'm not teaching them anything strange to them. I am just helping them expand their use of something they use daily without thinking about it. They use it. You use it. Every time you come to a decision inside of yourself, you're using the one rule. Most likely you had to consider several options or possibilities to reach that decision, even if it just took you a few seconds for you to agree with yourself. That is what I want. That is what I'll do. You also use the one rule whenever you agree with someone else. Together you come to a decision, an agreement. Yes, tomorrow I'll go to the auto parts store before I go grocery shopping. Even with your kids, you're using the one rule. You are coming to agreements. Think about it. Of course you are. You are just not thinking of it as a rule, as something required. So at times, you are not coming to agreement. I'm here to help you think of coming to agreement as required, as a rule, as the one rule. You just expand the situations where you come to agreement until coming to agreement is just what you do and your kids do. It is the rule you and your kids follow. When you use the one rule, you are creating harmony. Your kids are creating harmony. You are becoming used to creating harmony, familiar with how good it feels to everyone involved. One point to be clear on is that even if a situation seems complicated, and it seems that it is impossible to find a solution that everyone involved can feel good about, it is still possible. An important thing to remember is that there is a way for things to work so that everyone involved gets to feel good. Keep that in mind. This has been my experience whenever I've made this effort. A clear, helpful way to introduce using the one rule to your kids actually originates from the first time the children introduced me to what is now the one rule. You can do what I did. So they could understand what we were doing, I told the two little girls 3 things. You are each important. Point to each person involved. You are important and you are important. And if it is your problem too, I am important. You or we each deserve to feel good. 3, we can use the one rule to find a solution that feels good to each of you or each of us. Then tell them what the one rule is. When you actually start working with your kids using the one rule, helping them follow their interests is one of the easiest ways for you to start. That makes sense, right? It's also one of the most beneficial things you can do for your kids. Why is it good for your kids to do what interests them? One primary reason is that their interest is a key to helping them become the best versions of themselves that they can become. When we do what interests us, we are very engaged and focused. Think about doing something that interests you. When we are engaged and focused, what we do and produce tends to be of much better quality than if we were not interested. interest helps result in excellence. An even more important result of being engaged and focused is that our whole being is involved in what interests us. That is why we are engaged and focused. We are experiencing harmony, inner harmony. That is a good reason to allow and encourage our kids to do what they are interested in doing. I have observed children doing what really interests them, and they become peaceful, harmonious people, even if they were not before. It doesn't mean that everything that interests our kids is going to always interest them. They may be interested for their lifetime, or even 10 years, or only 10 days or 10 minutes. The point is that they are following their interests, not the specific thing or experience that interests them, or the length of time it interests them. So if they ask for your help, please help your kids follow their interests. If for any reason you really do not want to do what they're asking you to do, that is a perfect time to use the one rule. Another reason for helping your kids follow their interests is one that is taking care of you too. When they are eager to do something instead of resisting doing it, you do not have to encourage them to do it or insist that they do it, let alone force them to do it. Think of how much of your time and energy could be available for you to use as you wish. Helping them follow their interests is actually the one rule in action, taking care of you and your kids. I am glad you're here. Okay, let's see. Oh, cool. I'm going to try this as a slideshow. The one rule keeps peace in the family for you. When I started working on today's slideshow, I thought I understood certain things. But as I worked, more was revealed. Recently, there have been questions and concerns that using the one rule might not work. I understand where these concerns come from. After all, it is such a different approach than parents are in charge. Not only that, it is so simple. How can something that simple work? It just couldn't be that simple. And since it is so simple, it must not really work. It's got to fail. It doesn't make sense. Although I really want everyone to adopt the one rule when relating to kids from birth onward, by just adding it to whatever way they parent now, I do understand the concerns, and I'm going to do my best to address them today. When I was first introduced by 3-year-old children to what I now call the one rule, I told them to help them understand what I wanted to help them do, that they were each important. Then I pointed to each of them and said, "You are important, and you are important." They could agree with that. One little girl's awareness expanded to realize that they were both important. I saw it as her eyes lit up. I now realize that her eyes may have lit up because she thought of a solution. However, before thinking of the solution, she had to accept that the solution had to be something that they both liked. Until now, I've believed that her eyes lit up because she expanded her thinking to accept that both of them were important. Of course, that may be true. However, it is only now that I've come to realize that whether that is true or not, by following what is now known as the one rule, she found a peaceful, harmonious solution, a solution that was enjoyable for both of them. That is true for anyone who uses the one rule. There may be more than one peaceful solution, but it has been my experience working with kids that there is always at least one agreeable solution. No one has to believe that they are important or that the other person is important. But when a solution is discovered that all involved truly like, so they can agree to it, they are acting in peace. They are peace in action. This is built into the one rule. Even if people's awareness does not expand to include the importance of the other person, as long as they're following the rule, they find a solution that they both like or they all like, and they agree to use that solution. The result is peace. They also get to feel good about themselves and their life. They're happy with the solution. It may not be the solution they originally thought of, but they like it anyway. That is why they agreed to it. Think about how you feel when things are going the way you want them to go. You feel good, right? Another thing I mentioned to those first two little girls was that they both deserve to have what they want and that we were going to figure out how to do this. This is the main thing that people have trouble with. This is why people have trouble believing that the one rule works. They want something and someone else wants the same thing, or something that seems in conflict with what they want. Like the little girls both wanted to swing on the same swing, the only swing available. Whatever the situation, it seems that there is no way that both people could have what they want. They think that they have to give up on what they want, or the other person does. That is the most common outcome. That is what people are used to. It's hard to realize that there is a peaceful solution. It's hard to accept a possibility that seems so uncommon. I just realized that when I promised, I vowed to never force my children to do what they did not want to do. I put myself in the perfect position to be open to peaceful answers. Peaceful solutions require that everyone involved agrees. This does not mean that they just say they agree, but that they fully, truly agree, because that solution is something that they like. So I have been using the one rule for at least 38 years. For most of those years, it was called the power of respect, and there were 108 respect tools, skills, and strategies I used to make it work. That's why I know I found a true solution, mighty enough to stand on its own. One rule. In case some of you don't know, the one rule came into being one night when I wondered if people would actually have to learn the 108 tools, skills, and strategies I'd used to create respectful relationships with the kids in my life. That night I asked myself, of the 108, what is the least that people need to know to be able to raise happy kids? The one rule was my answer, and that one rule is powerful enough to create peace between parents and kids, and powerful enough to be your fail-safe in your intention to raise happy kids. The one rule is peace in action. Here are a couple of examples of how the one rule can ensure happy kids and peace between adults and kids. My youngest daughter and my 6-year-old grandson were visiting. The one rule had just taken on its name. As I was explaining the process to them, my daughter used the word agreement to explain the process in one word. I liked it. I use it. It seems appropriate that the one rule has a one-word description. My grandson liked to watch TV and YouTube video cartoons. My daughter did not really want him to do that, especially as much as he wanted to. One time when he asked me to set up my laptop for him, I told him that I felt uncomfortable doing this because his mom did not feel good about it. I wanted to work this out with her too. He thought about this briefly and suggested that he and I play cards. So we did. We had fun. So here, all people involved were honored. Peace was maintained. Everyone felt cared about. Another example is from someone I coached on the one rule. One issue she had was feeling uncomfortable, always buying her 5-year-old daughter things every time they went to the store, especially when her daughter was not behaving in ways she liked. She came up with an idea that they all liked. She made a chart of behavior that she liked. Her daughter could earn money for those behaviors and buy her own things. Her daughter liked earning money, and the parents liked the behavior. Here again, all people involved were honored, peace was maintained, and everyone felt cared about. So I hope you'll join me in the movement to help kids grow up happy and in peace. Use the one rule, become an affiliate or a partner, earn 50% commission. Share this with many, many more. The affiliate and partner program are part of the Happy Kids business launch, starting now. Join us. I'm glad you're here. Okay, wow. Let's see. I think I'm wondering where I think it's on here. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Taking its time, but it's coming. Now, I don't know if you've seen this, but this is the current website. Let's see. I'm gonna pull this down a little. I wonder if I can get rid of this. Well, I don't know. Oh, look, I can move things around. All right, good. Okay. This is when you open the website, you go to happykidsgo.org. This is what you see first. The one rule, because we are each important. That's the core belief. That's what it's all about. This is the newest course, Friendly Parents, Happy Kids. And here is where you can sign up, join the mailing list, and you'll get that video that we saw earlier. Okay. Oh my goodness. Huh. I wonder if I'm gonna be able to get back up here. Oh yes, look at that. All right. I wanted to, yeah. Membership and more. That's where you can join. Right now, it's still $199, and that may continue. But if it does, it's going to be 90% off. So at some point, it will go back up to 100% cost. Okay, I thought we'd take a look at a magazine. I haven't looked at the magazines for a long time. This was the first issue. Let's just glance through things here, see what we've got going. I haven't created the 5th magazine yet. I have a couple of submissions for it. One from Batul and one from Lisa. This is Batul created that, the picture that's in the center there. The one rule, rainbow of happiness. She used rule here, RULE. That has a name. I don't know what it is, though. Rainbow of happiness under love is emerging. Yes, that would be so fantastic. That's what the one rule does. Well said. And in this one, it's all about harmony. Harmony with kids, introducing the one rule. Harmony with 2-year-olds, there's a special way of going about that. 2-year-olds, babies, and really anyone that you're introducing the one rule to. This is the way to go with that. Harmony with fathers, grandparents, harmony with you. And an article by Batul, One Rule and Women Empowerment. That sounds pretty cool. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what the next issue is. And these are just what's on the cover. Inside there might be more. Let's check this one out, the second one. Oh, Huh. I don't know if it's going to do it. It says it can't load this plugin. All right, let's try another one. I'm going to have to find out about that. Oh, and I like this one too. I probably would have read it. Atul wrote something called Mr. One Rule, interviewing Mr. One Rule. Okay. Then she, at one point, she made a suggestion of having stories, not just articles, because the first two were pretty much, they were articles, there were letters from readers, there was lessons. But in this one, I started using stories. Let's see. That was one thing I wanted to share with you. Let's see if it'll work. Oh, good. It did. And we have Lisa Wasikowski. She starts submitting articles here. Here's a training. Let's see. There's lots of stories in here. And harmonious answers. That's a feature at the end where I give harmonious solutions to different situations. My goodness, the weather has changed quickly. There's a fierce wind out there. Harmony is a parent. I'm going to see about this. Neither of my parents had much harmony in their lives growing up, and neither healed before becoming parents, so the vicious circle continued. I never thought I would be a good mom. As a child whose parents did not prioritize creating harmony, I have struggled my whole life to attain it, and I knew that if I ever became a mom, I would have a heck of a project in front of me. Harmony means agreement, Karen Ryce. I never felt I deserved better than being the figurative welcome mat or punching bag. If nothing else, it gave me purpose. Love has never been easy for me to come by, and harmony does not exist without love. My parents were my parents, and to question them was wrong. I hated it. No room for me in there, no room for my inquiries, concerns, or requests. We are products of our environment. We teach what we know. We do what we know. I want to be better for my daughter. As a woman in my late 40s, I'm still learning how to love myself in order to create harmony. And as a mom of a child with cognitive and developmental delays, including with speech and language issues, I try to understand that love is not always soft and comfortable. Sometimes love is a well-kept schedule or a nudge. Sometimes love is an important question answered or a puzzle cleaned up after use. Sometimes love is admitting guilt, apologizing, and letting it go. Sometimes love is just stepping back for a few deep breaths, honoring personal boundaries, and redirecting ourselves. Love is the waterfall. Harmony is the bridge. True love flows effortlessly, like a waterfall. Harmony is different. Harmony takes time, effort, continued maintenance. Compromise is not easy for me, never has been. Even now, I struggle with the rejection. I struggle with transitioning to compromise. Fortunately, my daughter was born knowing how to love without bounds or conditions. I am the teacher, but I'm also the student. No matter how far behind I fall or how caught up in my own head I get, I know she loves me. The teamwork part, neither of us come by naturally. Both my daughter and I are neurodivergent and require different protocols to keep us safe and feeling loved. We are two very different people with two very different sets of needs and desires. Sometimes I go to where she is and we build. Sometimes I bring her to me and we build. Sometimes she brings me to her and we build. There really is no meeting in the middle until we have enough of the bridge in place to support our requirements. When it comes to the day-to-day, my husband and I generally give her choices. A choice is a vote, and the vote is hers to cast. I find this is an important component of agreement. Recently, my energy levels have been low. It is up to me to self-regulate, but it requires being truthful. My parameters are figured into the lowest common denominator before we even begin. The same goes for her when she is not feeling great. Health and wellness come first in this house, and we honor self-care and self-love. I offered her a few options I could deal with and let her choose. Choice: watch what you want with your headphones on while completing a school assignment. Voices off. Choice: practice handwriting. Voices off. Choice: silent reading. Voices off. She asked for outside play. I chose to stick to my boundaries. My husband took her out after his meeting ended. While she waited, she chose to watch a program and work on her assignment. Everyone's needs were met. Everyone felt acknowledged. I cannot teach my daughter how to set healthy boundaries if I cannot make and maintain healthy boundaries of my own. And I cannot teach harmony, at least until I attain it. The point of harmony is to love ourselves and to love each other in synchronicity. Okay, Lisa. That was an ad I just passed up for a booklet from that I put together for my mother, how she went through radiation treatments comfortably. So here's a training, Harmony with Babies through 2-year-olds. My 2 daughters and my grandson. My grandson, whose mother is my youngest daughter. My oldest daughter has 2 sons. Okay. This was a story. Working with 2-year-olds, there was an ad for training for 2-year-olds. I don't know if that's active anymore, but I'm going to be putting it together. Here's a story on errands with baby. There's Brian's book, an ad for Brian's book. And this chapter I wrote especially thinking of the people like Lisa, like Brian, who think that, and probably like my father, though he's not here anymore, not in this realm. But he used to have this thing about compromise and sacrifice. Like, to him, they were the same thing. And what I've learned with the one rule, and what I've learned from working with children, which is how the one rule came about, well, it wasn't the one called the one rule in those days, but the function of it was there, only just not so clear. Anyway, is that okay? And this just came to me right now. I'm going to write on it after, but for now it hasn't been written on. And that is that when somebody wants something, it may or may not have come from the true coreness, divine presence of themselves. And that is why it's not a sacrifice. That's why the one rule gets to that place, because in that place, that's where harmony is. And the one rule takes you there, because when there's potential conflict, somebody is not lined up with that. So when people are wanting things that are directly opposed to what somebody else wants, one or the other of them, if they're using the one rule, if they want harmony, you've got to want this. Otherwise, you probably won't choose it and continue to fight. But if you want it, the one rule will take you there. I can tell that to Lisa. I have to write about this. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm so glad that I did this exploration, because I didn't realize this before. This is so great. Uh-oh. Technical difficulties. Okay. Have a great week. Use the one rule. Get to harmony. Find it in yourself.